Welcome, beautiful hearts. This is Anrita Melchizedek, and I'd like to welcome you to this energy update as we reflect on 2022 and move into an overview of 2023. So 2022 as a 6th year in many ways could be seen as a year of reset. It's a year that many of us have actually released and let go of all that no longer works for us as we allow the flow, the organic flow of the Christed timelines to bring to us the gentleness and the grace and ease of that which we can manifest as co-creators to the company of heaven. So it's been a year of a lot of change as we deepen into all that is highest aligned, all that is soul aligned, and we see with this level of increased cosmic consciousness that many are experiencing in what some are calling deeper levels of soul embodiment, others just the divine presence of the beloved I am that I am, and of course very much just that nurturing and love of self that is overlighted by so many beautiful frequencies, and in fact in this now by so much of that divine mother energy. And I'll talk a little bit more about that right now. I'm just digressing slightly as I wanted to bring us back to an overview of this year, and all that has been experienced is very much the crumbling of the old, which is so much related to that which is not highest aligned, that which is misaligned. And in fact so much of our journey from the 3D to the 4D is also very much about that alignment and misalignment as we deepen into those levels of increased cosmic consciousness ourselves and hold our consciousness as those fields of light, in being able to step into those timelines that are soul aligned, that present for us so much of what is being experienced from that quantum perspective as one heart and one love. And it's also the light codes that have been coming on this year. We see a lot of the light codes of the 1-1 and the 2-2, and as we move into 2023 we're going to see a lot more of the 3-3 light codes. So my understanding too of these light codes, 1-1 is very much that field of divinity, the codes of divinity and the codes of purity. They're all very, very connected to the innocence of soul embodiment. So it's deepening into the photonic light of the soul as we bring online the crystalline light body, and with that what we're experiencing is just a deepening sense of the timelines of self-mastery and ourselves moving through those levels of soul embodiment or soul evolution, where we're merging and integrating our higher selves, and of course becoming the light of God as our beloved I am presence upon this sacred earth. And we do that both energetically on the inner planes within this quantum field of consciousness, and we're starting to do that now more, coming together with soul and star family and friends of the light. So we could say 2023 is very much a year of rebirth. It's very much a year of returning to that higher state of consciousness, and it's a year of illumination, of higher perspectives, wisdom, truth, freedom and sovereignty, and also deepening into community and unity, and of course love. So what we're going to see becoming more, we could say, into the mainstream level of consciousness is just a deepening sense of those higher perspectives of truth. So as all that is misaligned continues to crumble in every facet of the global consciousness, or rather unconsciousness, we're going to see political, financial, and so many other business systems starting to collapse and crumble, and greater levels of alignment to all that is presenting that supports us into higher perspectives of truth, making these soul aligned choices really essential as a whole new value system. And it's going to bring through for us just deepening levels of birthing into our Christed light. So we see too a lot more of the golden Christed light frequencies or crystalline consciousness, just beautiful gentleness and softness that's actually been presented at this time for all of us as we tune in on that collective consciousness level and hold the light as the flames of divinity we are. You see, consciousness is a very interesting frequency, so to express, and the way that we deepen into the increased levels of conscious awareness starts initially by being the observer, by being the witnessing presence of the beloved I am that I am, observing the behaviors, the patterns, the programs, and then allowing ourselves to go in to not only release and transcend and expand beyond the old, but to continuously, through the new habits, through the new frequencies, through the energies that are aligning us on so many different levels to our own divinity and to the light of Mother, Father, God, and all the illumined beings, and to one another, in fact, as we deepen into that unity grid, as we deepen into that energy of the sacred earth and that which we call the Divine Mother, comes from our ability to sustain and hold ourselves at those higher dimensional fields of light in that expanded state of consciousness. And that is the key that will elevate the frequency and the energy and allow us then to move from the spiritual ascension into the physical ascension. So the spiritual ascension that we're all going through at this time is that we're moving then from the third and the fourth dimensional levels of consciousness, which is where we experience that alignment and misalignment, or perhaps rather more fourth dimensionally, we talk about that as the heaven and hell archetypes being played out. We're moving more into the fifth and sixth dimensional fields of consciousness, where the timelines of the old are collapsing a lot more. And we're seeing this not only within our inner realities, but we're seeing this on the outer realities too, that much more is collapsing, and so many more souls are awakening, remembering, and stepping deeper into the consciousness, the awareness, and the light of who they are and who we all are, as we open our beautiful, loving hearts and just simply recognize that all is love, and love is all that we are. So the themes that we're going to experience in from 2023 as we deepen into this beautiful year that is going to present so many opportunities for so many of us, because it is a year of community. It's a year of coming together with our beautiful soul brothers, sisters, soul families, and also to step up with our service work, to be able to step up, to step out, to really just expand all that we are, all that we share, and new ways of being. This is really deepening into that presence of our divinity. From a numerological perspective, it's a 7-year, and this also is really just a year then that's deepening from the 7 perspective into wisdom, into illumination, into higher perspectives. Those higher perspectives that we talk about in this organic timeline is really just increased levels of consciousness. And if we think about it, we're ascending in each now moment, because all we're doing is that we in each moment are elevating our consciousness and our frequency if we take in that time to go inwards. And what's interesting about that too is what we experience and know as our truth today really does shift and change as we deepen into new perspectives, higher understandings of truth. And this is going to reveal a lot more, because of course those levels of truth are simply new levels of not only increased cosmic consciousness, but really that's moving beyond the veils of illusion. We're seeing a lot more of the pineal gland activations, and in fact we're seeing that a lot more too at this time. So we could talk about what's going on energetically at this time for all of us, and one of these are the pineal gland activations that are increasing for all of us, as well as the experience of the 40 hertz gamma wave frequencies. So it's a really interesting one, because that gamma wave is really fifth dimensional consciousness too, and it's moving into clearing, healing, and releasing the density within the body and energy field, and allowing for their greatest subatomic spin at the cellular level within the body. And the pineal gland activations, as many of us are aware, is really the primary way that we experience New Earth, because the physical eyes then become the secondary sight. And to fully activate the pineal gland, we're also activating the pituitary, we're activating the hypothalamus and the thalamus. We experience greater levels of intelligence, greater levels of those truths and perspectives of consciousness and light. And this is really experienced primarily in the form of sacred geometry and sound and color frequencies. So we'll feel the pressure on the through the third eye, through the pineal gland. Many that experience the pineal gland activations, you'll feel the secretions coming through the upper palate. Sometimes you'll feel the nauseous, or you'll feel nauseous with it too. And other times you will just feel the need to go down and close the eyes, or other times you will be experiencing taking in the light codes through the plasma light frequencies too, where you'll start to rapidly blink the eyes, sort of something like this. And I find that that is happening too more and more. And also what we're experiencing at the moment too is the activation of the occipital lobe, which is at the back of the throat. And this is really a gateway of consciousness and light that connects into the brain, and also elevates the consciousness to that level of fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional living that we experience initially energetically and then also physically. And one of the beautiful frequencies that we're experiencing with these codes of purity, divinity, activating from within, just really beautiful energy, expanding the heart frequency, that's what we're experiencing now, is just this deepening levels of the energy of the Divine Mother, taking us into just that nurturing, loving aspects of ourselves, where we feel that need to really just love ourselves. And I know for me, I'm finding myself saying a lot more these days, I love you, I love you. And while it's so lovely to hear it from others as we do, and of course to deepen into our own hearts of gratitude and appreciation and joy and love, it's so lovely to be able to cycle that energy of love back to ourselves. And that's really what's happening at this time on the sacred earth. We're deepening into that connection with Mother Earth, who of course is our Divine Mother, but with that we're also experiencing just these really beautiful pink and golden colors. And simultaneous to all of this, we're releasing from the base chakra, we're releasing a lot of lack of in our lives at this time. And that's really from the lower three chakras that we experience that release of the lack of. That's any level of lack of within our lives as we shift through the financial and relationships and all that comes through, also through that sexual energy and misuse and abuse of power. So those are the primary themes that continue to amplify and to also collapse as we ourselves just release from within what needs to be released and expanded upon, so we can come together more in that field of community and unity and love. What also is being experienced right now is our nervous systems are being recalibrated. So you may feel this within the body. You may also feel and experience a lot of the sonic frequencies that are coming through, and also the exotonal alignments, because all of this is activating the DNA. So we talk about the diamond light, the rainbow light, the golden light frequencies of Christ consciousness, crystalline consciousness. So what we're experiencing is really just this beautiful array of rainbow frequencies and lights through the diamond light prisms that are coming through onto this planet, coming through and into the sacred earth, often through the frequencies of the sun, through the solar flares, and of course through the plasma light. And the photonic light that's activating is the soul light within the body that is activating these light codes from within as we move through the different levels of the light body. And the light body that we're experiencing primarily is that which we call crystalline consciousness, or another word for it is Christ consciousness. So you could say 2023 then is a year of illumination, and Christ consciousness or crystalline consciousness or soul embodiment, whatever you may like to experience, imagine and feel in terms of that terminology. Just know that you are expanding into your own beautiful higher light, into your magnificence, and also stepping out into new levels of service to this sacred earth, because that's essentially what we're all doing at this time, is we're stepping out into different levels of service. So it's a really beautiful moment in time, and we have a look to it also what we're clearing at this time. And part of what we're clearing then, or what's been released, is as we step out into new levels of service, as we step out into expanding our light, both collectively and of course individually, we have to go into what we're still working on, what is being released, what is being collapsed, what is being dissolved, or what are we still holding on to. And while within this there are a lot of collective themes, that is what we're talking about here, what is being released from the unconscious aspects of humanity. And a lot of it is again the fear. And for awakened souls and light workers that are ready to take that next level into that rebirth, into that illumination, into activating the threefold flame of power, love and wisdom from within, we're also releasing this fear of not being good enough, or comparing ourselves to others, or in some way this lack of abundance, as we reset into this organic flow and focus. There's a lot too that's obviously been released on so many different levels. As I expressed, it's both on a planetary level and of course it's also on a personal level. But mostly right now what's been released from the collective is this comparative measure, lesser than, better than consciousness, and as always, victim persecutor consciousness. So in overview then, we can have a look at some of the themes that are coming through for us in 2023, in this year of illumination, wisdom, rebirth, and embodying ever deeper the light of God that we are. So it's stepping up in new ways, finding that support with soul brothers, soul sisters, choosing possibly to come together in co-creation with others. And this is important because this is really about making those soul aligned choices and then mapping it multidimensionally, which means that all that no longer serves is dropping to the sideline. And I often find that what helps with that level of multidimensionality is working with Andorra crystals. There's of course so many things that we can do to experience that multidimensional consciousness, but working with the Andorra crystals is an absolutely beautiful one to do. Well, working with the Andorra frequencies, either energetically through Andorran beings, which many also call the Lemurians, that really hold that consciousness of unity and love, or we work with the beautiful crystals that are really uniting and coming together and speaking to one another collectively through those sound, colors, sacred geometries that amplify, shift and change as we too become Andorian, as we too become Lemurian once more, as we too deepen into the frequency of new earth in consciousness and light. Those of us working with Andoras, what happens is that the light codes sync to our light codes, and those geometries also shift and change, but it's a network, a grid, as so many of these light grids are, through the quantum field of consciousness and the unity grid of divine love. So this is really a very powerful moment in time where we are collectively coming together, where more and more are awakening, more and more are stepping into their beautiful light in service to Mother Earth and all her life. And so we will feel supported in new ways too, because a large part of our work for many years, for some, has been either doing it on your own or just sort of doing it in small groups, or also feeling frustrated that that support wasn't there or isn't there, either financially or emotionally or creatively or working together in a team. And so we will find that sense of community a lot more with the Light Tribe, with the suggestion of working with those that we have a heartfelt connection with. It's not going to be something that we have to sort of push with or for, because the timelines that we're talking about are these very beautiful crisis or organic crystalline timelines that we're all working with and flowing into that frequency and energy of New Earth. And all of this is just soft and gentle and loving energy, and we just have to deepen into following the wisdom and guidance of our soul. That's essentially all that is asked of us. And when we do that, then all we're experiencing in that moment is just a gentleness in the flow, where what is presented and what is needing to be worked on or with at that time just comes naturally. And that is in all that we do, in terms of making those highest aligned choices, or soul aligned choices, through the perspectives, through the wisdom, through the knowing, through the ability to come together with like-minded souls. Then we're going to really deepen into that world service in whatever way that we look at it. It's really stepping up with our service work, touching more hearts, connecting with perhaps different groups, other networks, different ways that we can work with our own work, even for ourselves, new ways of working or other ways of working, just expanding our own work and really stepping up and touching more hearts. And that's really a big theme too for 2023 with this consciousness expansion, because essentially that's what we're doing, is we're having this real deep quantum consciousness expansion going on this planetary level. And so we're going to see more and more souls waking up, more and more souls just recognizing that the way that things are run at the moment is not the way that they should be run. And those that are holding on tight in 3D ways and all about me and me, it's not viable, and of course it's not able to be sustainable, and it's just crumbling. And we're going to really see so much more of that being highlighted, but also so many more souls just coming together, as in fact we've seen, sadly, through mostly disasters and events that have been very difficult or heartbreaking or trying in bringing us together, because of course that's how humanity has learned best. But when we walk New Earth, when we experience New Earth in frequency and energy and through our own beautiful light and expanded consciousness, it's really a sense where we just step up to do what needs to be done. And we all come with our different skills and gifts and network and create these communities and share and care. That's essentially making those soul aligned choices. And we map it multidimensionally. I've talked about this a few times, but mapping multidimensionally really essentially is looking at all the different choices and seeing what is mostly highest aligned for the next level of stepping up, and then visualizing it through feeling each moment of that experience with gratitude and love, and of course joy and abundance consciousness, to create one step to the next step to the next step, and we visualize it all through the power of the mind, but also through the pineal gland that's activating and bringing through those light frequencies for us the ability to see what is that next level. And when we talk about see, we essentially are talking about the ancient memories expanding from within through the timelines of self-mastery, and also clearing of the karmic timelines and programming through the loving heart in this now moment, that next level of our light work, and how we want to step up and how we want to step out as the light tribe, as the gatekeepers, as these sacred flames of divinity. So it's really going to be an absolutely beautiful, wonderful year for all of us when we allow the flow of grace and ease into the organic timelines to amplify for us. And this is important because it's really sinking into the universal flow that comes when we're out in nature, when we connect into the heartbeat of Mother Earth, when we feel her love, her gentleness, her frequency and energy of unity consciousness. It sends a pulse or a wave through the collective consciousness that ignites into the DNA, and we become both these receivers and transmitters of the consciousness of light, where we not only experience ourselves as the unity grid, as the light tribe, as the I am avatar consciousness, but we transmit those light codes out to others simply through our beingness. And more than that, then we have a sense of what we need to do from one moment to the next, because it's soul guided, and we follow the wisdom and guidance of our soul light. And that is essentially what the sacred year of 2023 is about. And the 7 years is also very interesting, because if you think about it, many systems of energy that we work with 7 and we work with 12. We work in cycles of 7 years and 7 chakras, and 7 in so many different ways. And of course it's also an ending, a beginning, and this is all about new beginnings, and really just deepening into the expansion of our beautiful light and holding it for all upon this sacred earth. So I'm very excited to share this beautiful space with you of 2023, and I look forward to further connections in light. And so from my heart and to yours, and to the cosmic hearts of all creation, blessings in love. Namaste.